Your Holiness, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us to launch this most urgent Mission 4.7. Target 4.7 of the Sustainable Development Goals focuses on education for sustainable development and global citizenship. We're gathering today as a year of unforeseen upheaval comes to a close. As we pause for our reflection, let us use this time as a potential circuit breaker for action. The COVID-19 pandemic started as the world came out of the hottest decade in history. We now sit on the precipice of climate catastrophe, with irrevocable damage already impacting biospheres and causing unprecedented biodiversity loss. Like war, the climate crisis is the result of human behavior. 2020 has shed light on other existential threats to our societies: racism, gender inequality, the spread of conspiracy theories and hate speech, distrust of science, the rise of anti-Semitism and violent extremism. When we speak of rebuilding after the COVID-19 pandemic, we must start by what, where, and how we learn, so that it can reflect the society that we want. Target 4.7 was included in the Sustainable Development Goals to acknowledge that education must not only be universally accessible, but also meaningful and empowering. UNESCO prioritizes Target 4.7 as a reminder that education is not only a goal in itself, it is also a means to achieve all the other SDGs, an enabler of change. Target 4.7 speaks to UNESCO's core mandate and mission: to build lasting peace and foster open, equal, and inclusive societies through education, sciences, culture, and communication. In our globalized and interconnected world, this mandate is carried out today through our programs in Education for Sustainable Development and Global Citizenship Education, which promote holistic and transformational learning. This means not only developing new learning content that is relevant to the SDGs, but also focusing on learning outcomes, teaching, and the learning environment itself to give learners the knowledge, skills, attributes, and values they need to be change makers ready for the challenge of tomorrow. UNESCO has just launched a new global framework called ESD for 2030. At the World Conference for ESD Development taking place in May 2021, our member states will present their initiatives to bring nature and sustainable development into the classroom. Through global citizenship education, we are working towards more inclusive educational systems that foster respect for others, diversity, and human rights. We are training young people who are aware of their responsibilities, capable of driving peace and change, and committed to more sustainable societies. Media and information literacy is also a key point that Mission 4.7 should address. Today, more than ever, this is needed to fight the disinformation that is threatening the stability and openness of our societies. UNESCO has worked in this field for the past 30 years and has adapted its approach to take into account the new challenges of the distribution of information through artificial intelligence or algorithm, for instance. The pandemic, which caused school closures that impacted 90% of learners, has jeopardized hard-won achievements in the SDGs. In response, as you know, UNESCO has led the Global Coalition for Education, which came together to fight to protect access to education. But the pandemic is also an opportunity to rethink the futures of education, building on the lessons learned from the crisis. With this vision in mind, it is my honor to be a patron of Mission 4.7 and launch this initiative, which will support and enrich UNESCO's work on this vital target. Alongside the Honorable Ban Ki-moon and Professor Jeffrey Sachs, We bring together great minds, esteemed members of the global education community, with strong ambitions and an incredible capacity for innovation. But this initiative also needs commitments of funding and action from governmental and non-governmental partners. For the mission we are launching today, together, could not be more urgent or important for the world we need to build tomorrow. We need to uphold global peace, a goal that is as important today as it was 75 years ago. I thank you for your attention.